Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of The Horror Within Me. I am your host, Eric, and in this video, we are going to be talking about my top 5 scariest shower scenes in a horror movie. Coming in at number 5, we have Alice's shower scene from A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. For those of you who haven't seen it, we have Alice returning from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. She enters a stand-up shower, not a bathtub, where she goes in, closes like a glass door, starts a shower, and during her shower, there are some things happening in the drain, some ugly colored brown waters popping up, like it's kind of clogged, and she's confused on what's going on. At this point, we can start to understand that it is a dream. But anyway, she's sticking her hand in the nasty drain. What brown water? I would have just gotten out, but it's a dream. We don't know why we do what we do in dreams. So eventually, the water's busting through the walls, and it's filling up the shower very quickly, and she can't get out. And we think that she may drown, and it is a terrifying kind of nightmare and scene in a horror movie because drowning is terrifying in general. And dreams, I don't know if anyone else had dreams of drowning, but it is not fun. And the loss of control in a normal situation like that, and it's like at the same time in the nightmare world, this would never happen like this. Do you know what I mean? In real life. But in nightmares and with Freddy, that's what's so terrifying about him is that they do these things that don't make sense to us when we're awake, but make sense when they're sleeping. We don't question it. So that's coming in at number 5. Number 4, we have another entry from the Nightmare on Elm Street film series, and we're actually going to do a Nightmare on Elm Street 1, the bathtub scene with Nancy. Now, while she's not showering, think that it still could be considered a shower bathing kind of thing in a horror movie, and definitely worthy of this list. So, and those of you, everyone has seen A Nightmare on Elm Street, right? It is an iconic scene. We have Freddy's glove climbing up out of the tub and reaching for our character, and at one point she's falling asleep as she's singing the lullaby from Freddy Krueger, and her mom knocks on the door, and it goes back away, goes down quickly, right? And you think, oh God, that was scary, right? She starts to fall back to sleep, and it begins again, and it goes, and then she falls asleep and pulls her down into the tub, and it's this huge, like, massive ocean, like, pool-like thing, and it's terrifying. And then she's drowning, she's screaming, and then she's obviously thrashing in between in and out of consciousness and sleep, and her mom hears her, and she obviously gets away. But again, another drowning with Freddy seems to be a theme, but terrifying, especially for its time. Terrifying, beautiful sequence that I was recreated in the remake, but not quite as good in my opinion. It is what it is. Coming in at number 3 is the shower scene with Pennywise and Richie from the 1990 miniseries from Stephen King's It. Now, this scene terrified me when I was growing up. Even as a teenager when I watched it, it re-terrified me at like 14, 15, and I'm going to admit this now that I'm 36. I would wash my hair in the shower for months, staring down at the drain because of the way that Pennywise came out of the drain. And Tim Curry was fantastic and terrifying as Pennywise the Dancing Clown in the miniseries. He had a way of making him fun and funny, but when he was dark, oh, he was dark. And when the scene after he's done taunting Eddie and he looks up and he looks back down and he's so evil and he has the razor sharp teeth everywhere, that really just, it reaches into your soul and really just terrifies you. So that was coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have the shower scene from the 2004 movie The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Okay. This absolutely had to make the list and almost came in at number 1, but it is so beautifully shot and terrifying, and it was in the original Ju-On, and it was in the remake, which I didn't see, but I saw the trailers that it was included in it. But there's something about being in a shower and vulnerable and just trying to wash her hair and do what you got to do. And as she's doing her hair, washing her hair, a hand comes up from behind and she feels it, like, and can you imagine washing your hair and you feel like a hand behind you? She doesn't know what's going on. That's got to be terrifying. One of my worst fears is it's just terrifying being in a shower thinking what if I'm attacked at this point? What if something were to happen and I'm naked and vulnerable and in a situation where it's difficult to get out of? You know what I mean? Most bathrooms are smaller for most people. Not everyone lives in these lavish mansions with huge bathroom space where if you were attacked, it's very tight quarters. So it is very terrifying, which brings me into our number one spot for the scariest shower scene in a horror movie, which everyone already knows what it is, and it still holds its title, and rightfully so. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Shower scene with Janet Leigh when Norman Bates, she's going to shower after she's robbed the bank or whatever she's robbed, and she's at the hotel or the motel. I'm sorry. It's not a hotel. She's at the Bates Motel and she's showering, but Norman Bates has been watching her through this creepy peephole, and he's sexually attracted to her and aroused, but he's split personality with his mother, back and forth, calling him dirty, and eventually her personality completely takes over. He dresses up as her, goes into the woman's room, slides the curtain back, and just viciously starts to stab her to death. Terrifying. Like, take a second and let's talk about it, right? Everyone feels, like I said, vulnerable in the shower. And there's been recreations after recreation of that suspense in so many horror movies where one of the females are showering or male, and you see like the camera panning towards them, and you think, oh God, the killer's going to get him. The killer's going to get him. And then they turn around and nothing's there. In Psycho, they were there. Not only was Norman Bates there, he opened the curtain, she screams, and he viciously stabs her to death, and it was a beautiful shot. It's terrifying. It's quiet when she reaches and like grabs the curtain, and then when she dies because she just falls over. It is an unimaginable terror of mine to be in a shower. I lock the door constantly, whether I'm home alone or whoever's in the house. I do not shower or do anything in the bathroom with the door open or unlocked. I need to be prepared if somebody tries to bust in, that I'm ready for whatever. I watched too many horror movies, and those of you who are fans know what I'm talking about. We are always looking at exits, looking at survival plans, learning from the mistakes of all these other people. So those are my top 5 scariest shower scenes in a horror movie. If you're having fun with me and you like the podcast and you like the content on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and all the other places that you can get all the Horror Within Me content, like, subscribe, rate, and review. Let's connect. This isn't just videos and a podcast where I only talk and you guys listen. This is all for interactive. This is to build a community. I would love for you to leave your comments and start a conversation with me, and let's build this thing together and have a lot of fucking fun doing it. And that is the end of this video. So, like I always say, stay spooky.